a former Google executive is taking on Groupon. David Rosenblatt, who ran Google's display ad business, has a new company, Group Commerce, and his goal is to grab market share by catering to publishers like the New York Times. John Erlichman has that story. John?
Eric, David Rosenblatt has connections to all the top players in the internet business. Here's why. He was the CEO of DoubleClick when it was sold to Google for more than $3 billion. And while he's not at Google anymore, he's on the boards of companies like Twitter, Barry Diller's IAC, and GSI Commerce, a company that was just acquired by eBay. And with the help of some deep-pocketed investors like Bob Pittman, the former president of AOL, he and his team started Group Commerce, which is described as a white label version of Groupon that focuses on the publishing industry. Here's his explanation.
Anyone who owns an audience, whether that's a celebrity or a content publisher like the New York Times or an email newsletter like a Daily Candy, our goal is to empower every single audience owner to be able to participate successfully in this business.
Now, he mentioned he's working with the New York Times. The reason the Times might want to work with a Group Commerce over a Groupon is they've got a big brand and some very specific deals they can offer to their customers, the types of deals they might not be able to offer through a Groupon, Eric.
John, let's talk a little more about the antitrust angles concerning Google. Does Rosenblatt, in this case, expect Google to face more heat from regulators, as this news from Europe would suggest?
Well, Rosenblatt wouldn't comment specifically on Google, but he said the reality for the industry is that it's getting bigger, and that means more regulation is something that could be coming.
I think it's A, inevitable that there'll be more regulation, and B, not necessarily the worst thing. Because the only thing worse than bad regulation are bad actors within the industry that poison the well for everybody. And, without some kind of oversight, that's more likely to happen.
Now, I did ask Rosenblatt if he thought Google might ultimately buy Group Commerce the same way they bought DoubleClick. He said, we didn't get into this business for that end game. And by the way, he thinks Google's going to make a much bigger push in this business as well. Don't forget, they tried to buy Groupon, and that didn't work out.